welcome everybody. This is our special podcast, midweek podcast. We decided a few weeks ago that trying to include a new music section into our regular podcast would be too much.
Yeah.
We kind of spend too much time talking about other stuff. So over here we are bringing you a new segment called the New Music coming out. At this point I'm thinking bi-weekly. What do you think about bi-weekly?
Maybe bi-weekly. I don't know if we need to have business meetings on the podcast, but we could talk about that. But yeah. So, but, it's just more blood on the mic. You get it twice as much. So, for our one listener, my brother, be happy with it, twice as much content.
Exactly. And for those people who are listening when we blow up, in a few days from now, hopefully.
Honestly, I think next week we should be millionaires.
We should be millionaires next week. Yeah. For those people who are tuning in much later, you can go back and listen to what music came out in June 2020, and that's what we're covering today.
And for any new listeners, I'm Luisi. You are
David.
And this is the Blood on the Mic podcast. We usually in our main show we talk about a specific artist and dive deep into the discography or other things, maybe interviews and other stuff. This is specifically about new music that came out last week or in the last couple of weeks. Exactly.
So there's a fair amount of stuff that we want to cover. Just a few tracks, and you're stepping on my food.
I don't have food on the floor. My God, it's not my fault. You live like an animal.
Just a box of cereal. All right, so which one do you want to start off with today?
We can just go down the list.
All right, let's start off with the most exciting one, at least in my opinion, this week. Guerilla Toss just came out with a new single.
On Sub Pop.
On Sub Pop, which is a huge deal. They used to be... Well, to give you some background, Guerilla Toss started here in Boston. Then they were kind of part of the Brooklyn scene. I think they're still based out of Brooklyn, kind of.
When did they start? Was it like early 2010 or?
It was like mid 2010s, maybe early 2010s. They're only a little bit older than I am, so I think they graduated from. I don't even know if all of them went to school, but like they were here. A lot of them for college, in the early 2010s, and they formed a group. They got signed to DFA Records, which is
James Murphy's record label. James Murphy of LCD Sound System, one of the best bands of all time, in my opinion. And
they're okay.
Okay, we'll have an episode about it.
And
don't worry.
They did pretty well on there. They were pretty electronic when they were on there, but they have recently been embracing more pop and indie sounds in their music. They're definitely a lot more accessible than they used to be. They used to be music for... It was just very out there, I would say.
A little bit of background on me with Guerilla Toss. I've never really heard of Guerilla Toss until like a week ago when David told me about them. And so I haven't really listened to a lot of their catalog.
Maybe I've been building them up. Maybe I've been building this up too much for a single song. But they're one of my favorite bands out right now. They truly are. And I actually had a chance to interview them last year. I think later on I'll upload that interview. So even though it was about a year ago, it still holds up today. Talk about like her heart surgery and all that.
So let's talk about the actual music.
Yeah. So over here, this new song that just came out, their first single on Sub Pop Records, pretty big deal. It is a song called "Human Girl." Although the B-side that came along with it, "Own Zone," I thought was pretty good too. But "Human Girl," let's hear your thoughts about it.
So the first thing I thought immediately was Talking Heads' Remain in Light. That's exactly what it sounded like to me. It had like Afrobeat-ish rhythms like Remain in Light did, and it had a specific guitar tone that reminded me a lot of like Adrian Belew in like Talking Heads. I don't know if you know of Adrian Belew. He like played guitar with
the guitarist.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He played guitar with David Bowie and Talking Heads and a lot of people in that area. But like he has a very specific guitar tone, and he's also like a really weird guitar player, which I like a lot. But that guitar reminded me a lot of that, and I like that vibe a lot, so I really liked it. But it didn't only do that like Remain in Light thing. It also had like a separate section in the middle, and like it kind of goes back and forth between that and like a more, I don't know, what was the other section like? Like,
There were like there were two sections in there. They kind of, for me, I'm kind of like comparing it to their other stuff that's come out. They have been doing a little bit. They have been doing a lot of this Afrobeat kind of sound. They when they started doing that, they were still pretty rough around the edges with like the vocals and like even like the instrumentation. It was just wilder, I would say. This one over here sounds a lot more tame than the previous stuff. The vocals are a lot cleaner. Uh, the uh, the instrumentation, it yeah, it is a little bit more tame. I mean, there's still that Afrobeat sound to it, but there was a lot more overlaid on top. I felt like there's a lot more atmospheric elements to it that like or like kind of different atmospheric elements that I hadn't heard before on their music.
so yeah, I mean, I like the song a lot. I'm
No,
excited
it's a really good song. Yeah.
to see what they do next and go back in their catalog and listen to their older stuff too, because I haven't done that.
They're really great at writing pop songs that are still interesting to listen to. They're very energetic. That was, well, that was the Guerilla Toss singles. Check it out. Always a great band. Another pretty good band, Built to Spill.
I like Built to Spill a lot. At least their 90s.
I do like them, yeah.
At least their 90s stuff I liked a lot.
At this point, usually we don't cover veterans like this with their new stuff, but Built to Spill, this release I have been waiting for is Built to Spill plays the songs of Daniel Johnston, the lo-fi record artist who passed away last year. Yeah.
Was it last year?
Was it last year or was it earlier? I think it was last year.
Last year? Yeah, probably last year. I can't remember.
I don't know. It's been a long year. We're only halfway through. But they recorded, maybe it was earlier this year. I don't even know. They recorded an album full of songs of Daniel Johnston, and we listened to one of his more well-known songs. Daniel Johnston released a version of Life in Vain in the mid-90s, and that's one of the covers that Built to Spill had.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about it?
I wasn't very impressed by it.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of boring. It just, I don't know. It didn't sound very inspired. Like, Built to Spill was just like, they're just playing it. There wasn't much, like, anything unique to it. It's kind of just, like, acoustic-y, indie kind of stuff. And, like, Built to Spill is known for crazy guitar work and stuff, and, like, 10-minute guitar solos at points and stuff. And, you know, more interesting, unique songwriting, and this is kind of just straightforward acoustic like rock indie stuff. It's not really, it was kind of just boring to me.
Yeah, I mean, Built to Spill is definitely not the same band that they used to be. It is just a bunch of how old do you think they are now? In their 40s, 50s maybe?
At least.
And they're like they're still cool, but like, at the end of the day they're still dads playing rock. So it's not anything to like celebrate fully about, but I think it's a nice collection. Daniel Johnston is somebody who, maybe this song is not like the best one to point out because Daniel Johnston's recorded version is pretty easy to get into compared to like his more lo-fi works. But I would say, yeah.
Well, I think like they kind of miss the mark a little because like a lot of what made Daniel Johnston's songs interesting is like hearing him sing it, because he's so like, because he was generally schizophrenic and stuff, so like you can hear a lot of like emotions in his voice, and kind of like his voice was really trembling, and like, I don't know, it was an interesting voice to listen to, whereas here you don't really get the emotion of the song. It's just like he's kind of just singing it straight, playing it straight, and it just sounds like a bland indie rock song.
Yeah, I guess I get what you're saying. But I was just gonna say that it's probably like for somebody who has never listened to Daniel Johnston, or like maybe has a hard time getting into Daniel Johnston just because of how it's very unorthodox the way he does music. This could be like an easy way to like ease into Daniel Johnston.
Guess, but also I would just recommend not listening to Daniel Johnston then if you're not like
If you're not,
if you're not into it. Like you don't need to like Daniel
I
Johnston.
mean, I guess you don't, but like, yeah. I mean, maybe the better thing to say is if you want to get into Daniel Johnston, you can listen to his later albums first, and then get into his
Yeah.
earlier stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little thing that they did, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's essential. Alright,
Don't listen to it. Next song.
it's okay. The next song is from Fontaines D.C.
I never know how to pronounce this
I
band.
don't know. There's no U in there, so it's not
Fountains?
fountains, but it's like Fontaines.
Fontaines D.C.
I don't know. My French comes out there. Fontaines D.C. And it's a song called "I Don't Belong." Is their second single to come out recently.
Yeah, so their first album came out last year, I'm pretty sure. And they're kind of associated with Idols. Like I think they kind of like are coming up together. But so I don't know, did you listen to their last album?
No.
I listened to it like once or twice. It was I mean, I liked it generally. It didn't like really move me or anything. But their last song, A Hero's Death, I really liked a lot. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do, what they're doing next, and what their next album's gonna be like. So, what did you think of this song? I Don't Belong.
I liked it. There was nothing particularly that stuck out to me, but it's good. It's rock music, and it's
Okay. You gotta get
it's not tired. It doesn't sound tired. It's rock music. Doesn't sound tired, but
like
this
Built
song
to Spill did.
yeah, well, but like yeah, like that Built to Spill song, but this one. Yeah, there wasn't any elements that like stuck out to me too much.
Well, with Fontaines DC, I feel like their songs don't really like they kind of like how do I say it? It's kind of like krautrock in a way where a lot of rock bands like Noi and Can kind of like built on like a groove and kind of just kept that going for a
Yeah, I
song
get
and
what you're
didn't
saying.
really have changes. Like Fontaines DC kind of do that and they kind of like build on a groove, build on like one idea and just do that throughout an entire song. And sometimes that can get monotonous and boring and annoying. But I feel like this song did a good job of like building up and getting more intense at parts and like building up to the end. So this song, I mean, I didn't love it. I thought it was good. I'm still excited to see what they do next.
Do you like their previous single more, The Heroes?
Yeah, I like that song a lot more.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I don't think I've listened to too much Fontaines D.C., but I liked it. I would give the album a shot. If,
I would
if
recommend
recommended.
listening. I would recommend listening to the last album. It was good. It was worth listening to.
Okay. Move on over here. A band that I guess has also been around for a while.
Gorillaz, yeah.
Gorillaz. And I mean, its lead singer, Damon Albarn. It's been
He's
around
been
for longer than anybody else that we're going to talk about today. But Gorillaz has a new project coming out pretty soon.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know
Like,
what they're doing. For the past like month or two, they've been releasing things under the Song Machine, is what they've been calling it. So they've had Song Machine episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the fourth one, and I don't know. They haven't said if this is gonna be like an album or something, or if this is just like random songs they want to release.
Yeah, it's unclear what's going on. But this was under a release called Song Machine episode 4. I'm assuming there's been 3 other episodes
Yes.
before. And this is a song called Friday the 13th that's featuring Octavian. You were telling me a little bit about Octavian.
I don't know anything about him.
Sounds like he's a British rapper.
British rapper, singer. That's all. I mean, I'm gathering that from listening to the song. He has a
Right.
British accent and he's like half rapping, half singing over it.
Right,
So that's
and-
what I gathered from it.
And the Gorillaz has always been good at introducing hip hop to, and electronic music also as well, but to a wider audience. But like they felt that's one of the main things to always include hip hop artists in the
Well,
music.
yeah, that was kind of like the point of the Gorillaz to begin with. I think what he was trying to do was like meld genres together and stuff. Meld the pop music and like his alternative indie Brit pop shit that he was doing.
You could kind of argue that nowadays, Are they necessary? Maybe not so much, because I mean,
The Gorillaz. Well, they paved
at
the
this
way.
point, like hip hop is bigger than whatever sound the Gorillaz were
Yeah. Well,
like originally from.
I think it's arguable that Gorillaz really paved the way for a lot of that, like genre bending, genre melding music. I mean, that and the internet just in general, because since everybody's listening to everything,
Right.
genres don't really like need to be distinct anymore.
Yeah.
But Gorillaz were doing that, before, and there were bands even before the Gorillaz that were doing that too.
Yeah, but Damon Albarn, he's a fantastic artist. Over here, here in America, we mostly know him from the Gorillaz. But I mean, his music with Blur and even his own solo stuff, etc. So he's released a lot of great stuff over the years. But
Yeah.
I didn't like the Gorillaz 2015 album, which was the one that
Humans?
yeah, Humans, yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
I only like maybe like a couple of songs on there. Um, some songs I was okay with, and then there were plenty of other songs that I was like,
Well, I
I'd
mean-
rather not.
Yeah.
But apparently they had another album a couple years ago.
They had another album after Humans. I didn't listen to it
I
because
didn't even know it came out.
yeah, it was kind of like under the radar. I don't know. I didn't really want to listen to it after I listened to Humans because it came out like very close. The Gorillaz they release an album like every 5 years, if that. So if they released one album and then another one like right after it, I was wary of it, so I didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
But
This one I like though. I like this
yeah,
one.
this song I really liked actually, and a lot of their Song Machine stuff that they've been doing has actually been a lot better than like Humans. So this one, like, it has, I guess, like a chill vibe, you would say.
It's kind of
Like-
chill. Yeah.
like a chill vibe, synthesizer, kind of synth pop, and
I thought it went well with. I think like the combination of the song and the rapper also went well.
yeah, Octavian
It
sounds.
It didn't feel forced at all.
Yeah, Octavian sounds like really good on this song. I don't know what his music sounds like, but he sounds like perfect over this instrumentation, and he did a really good job on it.
Yeah. Overall, good track. Friday the 13th. I thought it was good.
Yeah, give it a try. Also, listen to the other Gorilla stuff that's been coming out, the other Song Machine stuff. I think it's been really good.
Yeah. So I mean, let's look to see what happens over here. Maybe he'll just release a bunch of singles. Maybe it's an album. I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay. So this next song, this next band is not as well known. It's just a band that I particularly took a liking to a couple years ago. A few years ago now, actually. A band called Bully. They are, I don't even know anything about them, but they are a female-led band, and they kind of sound like 90s grunge music. Like, think like Corny Love, but also, one of their last singles was a cover of Nirvana's About a Girl. And, they just, that's definitely where their home sound is, the early 90s grunge. But they have like a more, like the indie rock twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
But this last single that they released was called Where to Start. What do you think about it?
I liked it. I never heard of Bully ever until like right now, so I didn't know anything about their sound. But that was a pretty good description of this song. Like
Right.
it has that kind of like it's indie rock, but it's the more like kind of like driving aggressive indie rock.
Right. Yeah.
And I like that kind of stuff, so I kind of want to listen to their other stuff based on this one. If you like that kind of more aggressive form of indie rock that kind of like has more of a punk edge to it, but still has like that nice melodies and stuff in it, try Bully.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're anything like revolutionary or anything like that, but once again, they don't sound. It doesn't sound like an. Even though it sounds kind of familiar, it doesn't sound old or tired. Like I don't know, they make it sound fresh the way that they do it.
It's definitely, but it's definitely
kind of
not,
catchy too in a way.
Yeah, it's not anything groundbreaking though. It's it's good for what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, and the last song we're gonna be talking about over here is from Shamir. Shamir, a few years ago, he had a. I don't even know if they go by he or they actually, but let's go with they had a fantastic release several years ago called On the Regular, is still their best known song. It was a fantastic dance track that came out, and it must have been like 5 years ago now at this point, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But they have been getting more into a more indie rock or rock oriented sound. So this song over here is definitely a little bit different. It's called "On My Own." Lucy, any
I
takes?
don't know anything about Shamir. Uh, this is the first song of his or theirs I've listened to. And yeah, it sounded like, kind of indie rock. Maybe like a little.
Did it sound more
It sounded
rock heavy or more dance heavy?
It
Or
sounded a little dance. It sounded like a dancier version of indie rock, like maybe a little dancier, a little funkier. It had like really heavy drums in it that I liked. The guitar, yeah, it just kind of sounded like dancey indie rock to me. But I don't know what they were doing before this though. Like, were they just doing straight up dance music?
they kind of started off with pretty much straight up dance music. It not what the way I would what's the way I would describe it? Like like think of like '90s electronic dance music.
Yeah.
Kind of like that kind of sound. It has some very bright but heavy synths going in there. And very club heavy, but it wasn't. It was still like not. It wasn't a club song, but you could still listen to it in a club. Kind of.
Yeah.
But they kind of have had some moments of going into. I think they had like an acoustic, like folk rock, album at one point, but it wasn't taking like. It didn't have like the best impact.
What do you think of this new direction?
I like this. I think it's good. They I think the song could. It's not like a amazing song. I thought it was pretty good though, but I like this. I like this direction that Shamir is taking. If Shamir were to release an entire album with songs of this caliber, it would be definitely an album that I would recommend. That was it.
Cool.
Yeah. So those are the songs that we are talking
You're
about
forgetting the
today.
most important release
yeah, there's
of the week.
The most important release of this week comes from uh, some darlings in our heart. I don't,
Caro Bonito.
pa, 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 pa. And that's Caro Bonito has been a band that's been slowly building up more and more momentum over the years. They've been around for well well over half a decade at this point. But they've only recently been getting a lot more attention. They a lot of the music can be kind of cutesy. Some of it's poppy. Some of it's but a lot of it is just very interesting. But they are producing the soundtrack, or at least a song, for a new video game called Bugsnax.
Coming out for the PS5 Holiday 2020, which look
What
out,
holiday?
any holiday coming in this year. Could be Thanksgiving, could be Christmas, could be Hanukkah. Who knows? Just a holiday.
By the way, what do you think of the PS5?
Well, I'm gonna buy a PS4 now. 'Cause
Because they're gonna go down in price.
yeah, that's usually what I always buy. A gaming system when the next generation comes out. I got a PS2 when the PS3 came out. I got a PS3 when the PS4 came out. So I'm about to get a PS4.
I've never really felt the urge to get a PlayStation. I think the last time I really did was PS2. And like the more recent PlayStations, I really would just want to play like Grand Theft Auto on it. I don't even know like what would I play on.
I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't know. I'm not even up to gaming like the same
Well,
way.
you
that
play Age of Empires,
right. I could play Age of Empires 2, the one that came out in like the early 2000s,
but yeah,
late 90s. Jesus.
and
I don't
Roller
know.
Coaster Tycoon.
And Roller Coaster Tycoon. These are the video games that I.
Yeah, if you're playing those kinds of games, you don't need a gaming system. You're like a PC gamer. I mean, honestly, I don't really play games that much anymore. I'm not gonna buy a PS4 probably. I mean, I don't really play games anymore that much. I do every once in a while. Like really, like maybe like once every 6 months, I'll have the urge to play video games, and then I'll play for like a week.
Yeah.
And then I just won't play again for another 6 months.
Yeah, earlier this year I played the original Zelda. That was what I did with my
Oh really?
in January. I did that. But yeah,
Did you beat it?
I did. Oh, I mean, I used kind of like the cheats. I didn't. I cheated through it.
I love this confession. You're just like, Fine, I cheated, okay?
It's not like I got any magic potions or anything like that, but I used the save and load method is the,
Yeah,
if I died, I could go back to,
I used to play Game Boy Advance games, but on like a laptop using an emulator.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I'd always use the like save and load like so much.
Yeah,
like,
nobody has time to like go and collect a bunch of items all over again.
But like I use that so much to the point where like when I played it on an actual Game Boy, I'm like, how does anybody play this without just cheating the entire time?
I did beat like half the game without using any cheats. But the only cheat I had was like a map. I had like one of those like maps so I knew where the hell everything was.
I had the same thing in Grand Theft Auto that me and my brothers used to cheat. So like we started the game just cheating. Like you just start and you're just like, okay, get all the guns, get all the fucking just everything. And then like so you just play it from there and then the game's easy from there.
I mean if you do that, I don't know. I like to do the opposite. I like to play it. I like to see how far I can go being a normal player, and then.
Yeah, I don't like to cheat anymore. Well, I mean, Grand Theft Auto, like I don't even count that as like a real game.
That's just fun. I don't know.
It's just like Grand Theft Auto to me is just like have the most fun possible.
I
like,
don't even remember any of the campaigns. I just remember driving around in a car and getting caught by the police. Like I don't. Isn't that like what everybody wants to do? Like just like.
Like why would you even do the campaign for it?
I just want to say like fuck the police and not get beat with a baton. That's what video games are for. Living out our fantasies.
Caro Bonito.
Caro Bonito. Oh, yeah. Let's hope they release some more new stuff.
It's a 30-second song that they released for this song for this game, Bugsnax. But I mean, it is kind of interesting in the fact that like recently they've been doing more of an indie rock kind of alternative rock sound, and this soundtrack, like this song, sounds more of their earlier work, which is like, I guess J-pop kind of video gamey.
Right. Yeah.
Which is appropriate for a video game, so yeah. I mean, I see why they went back to that sound.
It's very fitting. And hopefully it's a good game, because a good game, only a good game deserves this kind of soundtrack.
I don't have any expectation that this is going to be a good game. It's called Bugsnax, and snacks is spelled with an X. What kind of game is Bugsnax? Like, what is that name? Like, is this like a, what is it?
I don't know. But I can assure you the soundtrack is going to be...
it's going to be nice. Good.
It's going to be nice.
I really hope it's like Dark Souls. Like, it's just like the hardest game, but with the stupidest title.
I like that. Oh, you know that video game that like looks like 1920s animation?
Cuphead.
Cuphead?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that game was impossible.
Jeez. I really want to play that game because I really love platformers. So,
I just want to see somebody play it. I don't know if I want to play it myself. But...
I'll get it. You can watch me play it.
Okay. All right. Anything else we gotta say today?
I mean, if you have anything to talk about that's not music related, because that's what we've been doing right now.
I think I'm done. Stay safe, you guys. There's still a virus out there, and then there's the police is still out there.
Stay inside and listen to our podcasts over and over on a loop.
Yeah, just don't even leave your house.
Make sure to follow us at Blood on the Mic 1 on Twitter, at Blood on the Mic on Instagram. Follow me at Torna Lewis on Twitter. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you have any recommendations for us to listen to. If you have any episode topics that you want us to cover, tell us on Twitter. That's what it's for.
Yeah, and all these different sources. All right. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.